up guys, hope you're having a good one. I am excited for today's video. I am pumped because today we're talking about night photography. So night photography is just one of those things where you either love it or you don't. You know, some people just hate going out at night just because it's just much more difficult and it's, dark outside. And the slightest camera movement can just mess up the whole photo. It just gets all blurry and grainy. But I think that if you do it right, you can take some of the most stunning photographs in your career. And in this video, I want to show you guys the beauty of night photography. One thing I enjoy shooting photos at night is long exposure. And for the people who don't know what long exposure photography is, it's essentially leaving the shutter speed open for a long time. And the shutter speed is how fast the camera takes the photo. So if you're taking photos of wildlife photography, with birds flying by, or people playing soccer or sports and things like that, then you want a fast shutter speed because you want to, get that clear shot of the people or the animals in mid-motion. But at night, if you leave that shutter open for a long time, all the light comes in, so it creates motion. And I know you've seen this somewhere before. If you've seen photos of the river with the nice flow and the lines, that's with long exposure. My favorite is with the light trails, which if you have a source of light like cars that are moving by, you can create these nice lines. So a couple months ago, I went down to Boston to take some photos of this bridge that I found on Google. It's called the Leonard P. Joakim Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge. I know it's a very long name, but yeah, so these triangular structure of the bridge and these lines were very cool and unique. So I went down there because I knew I could take some cool photos. The first location I went to was kind of the front side angle of the bridge where you could see the two triangular structures, and I got these nice long exposure photo of the car trails going by. These pink and white and lines in the middle are the cars going by, and I managed to capture some stars at above, which are pretty nice too. And overall, I think I got a pretty nice photo here. And after that, I moved on to the other side of the bridge, next to this little park where you have this whole view of the river and the bridge itself. So I took this photo right here. Here's just an example with a fast shutter speed. You can see all the ripples of the water and the texture, nice texture at the bottom. And this is a photo with long exposure where the water looks flat because the water was moving from the wind. It captured the motion. Wow, the lighting is amazing here. Now we're on this little walkway right here, and then that's the bridge right there. I'm sorry, it's so loud down here. So many cars, the wind. I don't know if you guys can hear me at all, but I'm gonna take some photos here and let's get to it. This blue squiggly line passing by me is the light trails that I got on my phone. So what I did was I went on my phone and I searched up a photo of a turquoise wallpaper, and I turned up the brightness all the way up on my phone so it creates a glow on my phone. And I literally held my phone like this and I went like that across the walkway so I would get this nice turquoise lights, which was cool. And then I merged it with this just photo of me in the middle, and I got that photo. This is probably one of my favorite photos that I took that night. So if you're watching this video right now and you're like, oh man, this is amazing, this is so cool, I want to go shoot at night, then here are the 3 tips that I will give you so you can take some of these banger photos. Number 1 is the most crucial and the most important is to bring a tripod with you. Always bring a tripod, especially if you want to do long exposure photography, just because the slightest movement, like even just like can just mess up the whole photo. And I've had so many photos where it's just like, it was such a good photo, but just because there was a little bit of movement, everything was all blurry and I had to just, throw it away. It doesn't have to be a $500 tripod. The tripod I'm using right now is like 40 bucks on Amazon. I'll link it in the description. So always bring a tripod. It comes in clutch. Number 2 is to bring some form of light with you. Something like this that I'm using. Hold on. Something like this, just a small LED light. This is called LumeCube Panel Mini. This would do the job. If you want to take, portraits at night, you can really take some amazing photos of people at night too, because if you find these buildings, you can get that nice bokeh in the background. If you don't have a light, then you can use something like an iPhone flashlight, which also works. It's obviously not as good as like a light like this, but it's better than nothing, and you can still take some cool photos. My third tip is more like internal stuff, and that is to be patient. Night photography, you need a lot of patience. If you don't know what you're doing, it's especially hard. All these ISO, shutter speed, aperture, just all these things. Just, the more you take time on a photo, the better results you're gonna get. So that are my 3 tips for you. And obviously it's a lot harder on like a phone than a camera like I have. Because you can't get that manual settings or options that you can do on a camera. There's probably some third-party apps where you can kind of change the settings here and there, but in general, at night, you do need a camera. But I will still try to go out at night, and even if you can't get that long exposure photos, you can still get photos of like the buildings or anything. But that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something new today. I'm on summer vacation, so more videos coming soon. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see more photos, and I will see you in the next video.